What's going on YouTube? Ferocity here, and today I want to talk about Fortnite, and more specifically I want to talk about all the weapons that Epic has vaulted and sealed away from its player base over the last year and a half, I guess. Vaulting in Fortnite is just one of those things that Epic does to keep balance in the game and keep changing the game up, and I do like it. I think it's an interesting idea, and sometimes it's nice to revisit vaulted weapons and maybe rebalance them to see if it's changed with the new metas or whatnot. But it is a smart idea by Epic to continue to do this as the game continues to evolve. So let's talk about the weapons that have been vaulted. Now this is all from an article from FortniteInsider.com, so let's get into it. The first vaulted weapon on this list is the Burst Assault Rifle, and this is one that I didn't actually realize was vaulted because I have barely played Season 7. Like, I've played a bit more of Season 7. Like, I didn't touch it in Season 6. But, like, I played in Season 7, and I didn't notice these weren't in the game. But there's no Burst Assault Rifle. Just the uncommon, common, and rare versions, of course. The Legendary and Epics are still there. But I was a little surprised to see this on this list. So, yeah, they were introduced originally in 1.6, and then were vaulted in 7.1. And, like I said, I was a little bit surprised by that. The next one is the drum gun. This was probably my favorite weapon during, I think it was Season 4 or Season 5. It was originally introduced in 4.5 and then was vaulted in 5.4. So it almost had an entire season before it got vaulted. But regardless of that, I really enjoyed this gun. It was like the best of both worlds between an assault rifle and a submachine gun. And I get why Epic removed it, because it's essentially like, why have both an assault rifle and a submachine gun when you can just have a drum gun? And it was very competitive. It had the largest magazine of either a submachine gun or an assault rifle, so why wouldn't you just use it? So I understand why they took it out. I still miss it. I would love to see them bring it back to see if they could maybe reduce the damage of it, maybe reduce the fire rate, whatever it might be. We'll see. I kind of hope it comes back. The double barrel shotgun. I was playing the game when this came out, but I just never used it. I didn't have a reason to. I still like the tactical shotgun and the pump a little bit more, and at the time the heavy shotgun more as well. But the double barrel was introduced in 5.2, and then it had some tweaks. It had a minor reduction of its damage from 143 150 to 114 120, and then it was just vaulted at the beginning of season 7. So it is what it is. I don't really miss that gun. I don't care if it comes back or not. Now here's a gun I never got to use. I wasn't playing Fortnite at the time, but the Zapotron was introduced in version 1.6.3 and then vaulted in version 1.6.4. So I think it lasted all of a week. The weapon was extremely overpowered and could one-shot anyone from any distance, so Epic felt that that ruined the balance of the game. Makes sense. I will be intrigued to see if they try to bring this thing back. I'll be intrigued to see if they try to bring a variation of it back in the future. Maybe have a limited time mode with it. I don't know. They already have the one-shot kill mode, which is actually a lot of fun to play when it comes out. But I'll be intrigued to see if the Zapotron makes it back soon. The 6-shooter revolver. Well, it's the 6-shooter. It was extremely underwhelming. It was rarely used, and I never got to use it. I'll be honest here, because like I said, I didn't play during Season 6, and I didn't play enough at the beginning of Season 7, so it was brought in 6.2, was removed in 7.1, and yeah, I had no use in trying to use this gun. So yeah, it's just a meh gun. Next one was a revolver that was introduced in 1.6 and then was vaulted in 5.4. Not sure why this one got vaulted. It doesn't really say anything in this article about it. I liked using the revolver. I thought it was better than the pistol, and if you had it, you could actually hit people in the head with it, and it was a useful gun to use. I kind of miss it. It was just one of those early game pickups that you could have, that if you needed a quick kill and you could be precise with it, it gave you an advantage over your opponents. It was kind of a skill gap widening gun in a sense. The guided missile. Now this one, I'm okay with it being in the vault. I have used it. I have lost games with this, but I do understand the reason why it's here. it is a very strong weapon. It essentially allowed you just to take down structures, point out enemy positions. It was as much information and as much destruction, as much damage as equally among the three. Like, you could literally use it for information. You know, you're down the last 5, you have a guided missile, you throw that thing up, you can figure out where the other players are within the circle, and you're not giving away your position that much. You're not giving away your stronghold potentially, so you get to know kind of how teams are going to flank you. So it was a useful weapon in that sense, and it was also extremely strong. So it was introduced originally in 3.4, and then had a bit of a... Then it was taken out. It doesn't say when it was taken out. It was reintroduced in 5.1 and then taken out in 6.21. I totally understand. Wouldn't be surprised if this thing never comes back. But if they can get it right and make it perfect, could work in this game. The quad launcher, never got to use it. Introduced in 6.02 and was vaulted the most recently in 7.2. So, yeah. I have no use for this weapon. Can't tell you anything about it. The submachine gun, tactical submachine gun, and suppressed submachine gun. So this isn't talking about the submachine gun you'll find in the game today. There was actually an original submachine gun that was in the game that was vaulted. So it looks like they were the submachine gun and the suppressed submachine gun were added in 1.6 and then vaulted in 2.5. The suppressed submachine gun was vaulted in 6. The tactical submachine gun, one of my favorite guns, very sad. It was a very sad day when these were vaulted. Were introduced in 1.6.3 and then vaulted in essentially right before Season 5, in version 5. So they received a nerf and then just were completely vaulted. And it was disappointing because I actually really liked the tactical submachine guns. I thought they were very useful. They were competitive against shotguns sometimes, especially if you had somebody that missed a shot. You were able to hit your headshots. You were able to use the tactical submachine guns very well. And then the suppressed submachine gun, when it got its nerf, or when it got its buff, I was like, this gun is unreal. And then they vaulted it. So submachine guns you see today are a shell of what they used to be. So it's kind of like they combined the submachine gun, tactical submachine gun, suppressed submachine gun into the new sub that is today. The light machine gun. This is a weapon I absolutely hated. I didn't understand why people liked it. The only thing it was good for, in my mind, was like to take down structures, because it had such a large clip size that you could just fire at people's structures and hopefully make them run out of materials. But when it came to like gunfights with this thing, completely useless. It was introduced in patch 3.5.2 and was vaulted in 6.0. The crossbow, which I have seen since, and you'll see it in this gameplay, was first made available in patch 2.4.2 and then was later removed in patch 4.0. But it has come back, which is interesting, because yeah, you'll see it in the next gameplay, or I don't know if you'll actually see it in this gameplay. I had some with the crossbow, so I'm a little confused. Maybe this is back. Maybe this is a little out of date, but regardless, the semi-auto sniper was initially brought in, I think in version, yeah, it says version 1.6, and then was vaulted in 6.2. It's still in one-shot limited time mode. I loved this sniper rifle. I enjoyed it. I do miss it. I wish it could come back soon, but understand why they took it out. Infinity Blade. I don't think anything really needs to be said about this. It was extremely strong. It really ruined the end game in Season 6. One of the reasons why I didn't touch Season 6 is I heard about this and I was like, oh, I don't really want to play. And my friends weren't really playing, so it kind of ruined Season 6 for a lot of people. Wish I had played during this time just to know exactly how strong it was, but that's where I'll leave it with the Infinity Blade. The Fortnite Vaulted Grenades. The smoke grenade was originally introduced in version 1.9.1 and then was vaulted in 3.5. And then it was released day 10 of 14 in Fortnite's events, and Sneaky Silencers, as well as the unvaulted limited time mode. So I didn't really have much with the smoke grenade. I wouldn't mind if it returned, to be honest. I think it could be good. We'll see. Maybe one day it'll come back. The impulse grenade, it was introduced in 2.5 and then was vaulted in 6.0. I wouldn't mind to see that come back. The Shockwave Grenade was also brought in 5.3 and then was vaulted at the start of Season 7. I didn't mind the Shockwave Grenade either. I'm not sure why they got rid of it. Maybe it was because you didn't take any fall damage, so you're able to kind of move further than you were when you used Impulse. I don't know. The Clinger, I missed this thing. I wish it could come back. Please come back, Clinger. It was good. I liked it. It was first available in 3.6 and then was vaulted at the beginning of Season 7. Portafort and Portafortress. This is actually one of those ones that was like, why is this on here? Like, I thought Portafort was fine. When it was introduced in 3.5, I was concerned it would ruin the game. Didn't really seem to. It was vaulted at the start of Season 7. Portafortress was, yeah, like, I understand why they took that out, but Portafort was fine, man. It was a good play. If you could throw it and make people think that you're inside of it, or you threw it and then you're able to kind of trick people around you, I didn't mind it. I thought it was a good idea. But it looks like those are now gone. The Portafortress was vaulted in 7.2, or the Portafort with built-in bouncers. Oh no, that was Portafortress, pardon me. Portafortress had the bouncers, 7.2 update. Other vaulted items, the remote explosives, the C4s, I just didn't think they were used that much. They were brought in 3.3 and then vaulted at the beginning of Season 6. The jetpack, I still remember the day they brought this in. It was okay. Understand why they took it out. It was brought in 4.2 and then was then removed in 4.4. And then it was made available in Playground mode and fly explosives in 5.1. Let's all have a moment of silence for the grappler. I'm gonna miss this thing. I very much enjoyed it. I miss it. I think they could, you know, they could nerf it. They could figure out how to properly do it. It was added in 5.4. It had 10 charges, and then for whatever reason, it had 15, then reduced back down to 10 in 6.0, and then it was vaulted at 7.2, which, rest in peace, Grappler. Last ones are going to be the vaulted traps, the jump pad, which I never got to use, the bouncer pad, the chiller, and that ends our list. So the jump pad was essentially allowed you to jump up and would launch players 2 blocks up and was a rare item. The jump pad directional would launch players in different directions. Bouncer pads were introduced in 4.3 and then was vaulted at the beginning of Season 6. Much to the dismay of the community, the bouncer pads were available in Portafortress, although the item was vaulted today in 7.2. So, yeah, disappointing to see the bouncer pad go, but I like that one too. The chiller I never got to use. It was in 6.0 and then vaulted in 7.0. The other ones were also the ceiling trap and the wall dynamo, which I also never used. But gonna miss the grappler the most. Definitely the tactical submachine guns. Hopefully those might come back one day. I want to see the Clinger come back, semi-auto sniper, and I'm just going through the list. That's about it. And drum gun. There we go. Those are probably the ones I want to come back the most. So I have to ask you guys this question. What weapons would you like to see come back into Fortnite? What weapons are you hoping get vaulted in the next update? What do you guys hope to see come to Fortnite once this ice event's over? Let me know with a comment down below. And as always, guys, if you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more videos from me, please hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be streaming today over at twitch.tv/xtz Ferocity. Today being January 25th, going to be playing some Halo 3 or Halo Master Chief Collection. If you guys want to check that out, there'll be a link down below. And as always, guys, I will see you on the next video. Peace. Take that, ice zombies. This game mode just makes no sense.